Let's see what this is. This is antelope brown. And we also have some sepia. A little bit of this flesh tint. Maybe some pink here. I don't have orange, but I'm gonna try mixing some of these things together. So I've got my water here. So I'm gonna try to make some orange. A bit of red. A bit of yellow. It's pretty deep orange color. Still looks like kind of like a red color. I'm trying to use some of this white. Maybe a little bit of this pink. So that's a good orange. Maybe put a little bit more of the red in there. A little bit more of the pink. A little bit more of the white. Maybe needs more yellow. Okay, I'm happy with that orange. We'll stick there. And then I'm going to work on this moon. Got moon with some funky psychedelic mushrooms happening. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of my water and wet the paper a bit. My water could be cleaner, but I didn't want to get more water. It's just right here, it's available. If it was any darker than this, I would definitely change it. But I want to get all the places that I want some color to dribble in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a little bit of my brown and bring it over. Don't want to do it too heavy. Just want to get like a couple of spots. I do want to do like some variation of color here. I've got my pink. And then I can just sort of draw out the colors. Let them kind of unfold. Let the paint do what it wants to do. It's already going to sort of, I want it to bleed into each other. I want to mix them a little bit. I want there to be lighter tones, darker tones. Maybe just like a darker tone up here. Maybe around here. Just kind of spotting around, playing with the water, playing with the color. Getting a little couple of pinker shades up here. Maybe playing with like this brown tone down here. be doing sort of a mix of both colors here. I definitely want to cover up any of the pencil lines. Sometimes it's nice just to use a colored pencil because it looks like a little bit more purposeful. Let's see. Just a couple more here. This is supposed to be a moon, so I do want to incorporate a bit more of the white. And it's not going to be perfectly white, it's just going to be covering, doing a little bit of, it'll mix in with the other colors a little bit. So maybe just a little bit down here towards the crest. Obviously it's okay to color outside the line, just giving yourself a idea of where we want the edges to be. There we go. Moon looking good. Just a couple little spots. Filling it in. White also does this kind of cool thing where we can really put it down and then it mixes in with these colors. Pretty cool. Give it like a little bit of a puddle to work with. Maybe putting a little bit of brown on top of this. There's some craters in the moon. We're just gonna mess around with crater-ish action. Okay, moon's looking good. Move on to the mushroom. So I want the mushrooms to be more of the orangey color that we mixed up a little bit earlier. And get a little paper towel. Okay. So, got my paper towel there. Alright, so now we're going to play around with mushroom color. These ones are going to be like a little bit orangey in color. So I'm going to start with this tall guy. Let's go here. Okay, now I'm going to go for the orange. Letting the color just spread out. Give it a chance to do its thing. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Give it some water first. Mushrooms are thirsty. They like to come alive with a little bit of moisture. And do the same thing over here. Do like a little boop. Let the color run. I could even take up some of the color if I feel like it was too much. Do these other little ones. Start with the water. Okay. Maybe I want these to be just slightly more brown. Okay. Do this. Let go. And let this one go. Just let the color run. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this brown and pull it down. Just pull it down into this soil. Pull down the color, the bottom of the soil. I do like to give it like a little bit of a darker gradient. Soaks up right to the bottom of that. I'm going to give it a little bit of outline here, a little bit of outline. And I think I'm going to do the bottoms of these brown as well. So let's see. So now I'm going to just do dry on top this time. Do a little bit of the dry. There we go. Do a couple of the lines for the gills. These little gills. I wonder if they use these things to breathe, like how fish do. It's a filter of some kind, at least, I think. Okay. Just slowly bringing in these colors. Maybe give it a little bit of an outline here. Letting things sort of simply dry in between. And then I'm going to use the lighter color in between the gills. I'm sort of just mixing my little bit of the light color here. Just in between the gills. And I've covered up a little too much, but we'll just go back, put in some darker lines. Okay, all right. Oh, my foot's asleep. Okay. Now, I'm gonna let those things dry a little bit more before I go back in. I'm gonna work a little bit on the ground cover, which I do want it to be sort of a brown, maybe a little bit of moss. I kind of want to stick with the color scheme here. I don't want to venture too far off, so I'm gonna try just using the brown. And then if I feel like I need green, I might do it. I don't know. We'll see how this works first. So I'm gonna get this all wet. Be careful not to run these colors. Get a little bit of a separation there. Use a little different brush for doing this cover. That's why you need to take care of your brushes better. too much water, just enough to make it damp so that the color will sort of do this cool thing where it runs and spreads out. Okay, so now I'm gonna mix up a little bit of brown. It's like my sepia color and my antelope brown. Big difference, huh? Lots of differences happening here. Maybe just a little bit of that. Maybe just a little bit of red in it. A little reddish brown hue. Okay. Really just filling out the colors as we go along and giving it, coming over for the brown dirt action. See how it creates these like kind of cool hues. And then if I wanted to, I want to, you know, pull that color down a little bit so I've got more cover. So I'm just taking my kind of wet brush and I'm just going to pull down these colors. Dirt isn't clean, right? So I do have to give it a couple little spots here and there. Little spotty. Little spotty spots. Just playing around with texture here. Maybe doing like a little bit of red, a little white. I don't really like this white in between, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that like a little bit of a line here. We have a little bit more of that ground cover. Give it a little bit more dimension with the white. There we go. Now I just have to wait for it to dry before I do anything else. Okay.